Good morning. I'm Steve Wolf, Wholesale Marketing Associate for Sprague.
And I'm Chris Brennan, Wholesale Marketing Rep at Sprague.
Welcome to Sprague's Refined Products Review, where we discuss what's moving the market and giving you insight into what we see every day. Chris, winter is here, and geopolitical tensions continue to drive volatility in crude and heating oil markets.
Well, Steve, for the last few weeks, the market is primarily focused on a significant global supply surplus that is allegedly building and expected to last through 2026 and 2027. The U.S. EIA forecasts lower prices in the coming months, with Brent crude expected to fall into the new year. This general downward pressure is the key influencing factor for short-term markets. Crude and product inventory builds have yet to materialize to support this view, but prices continue to the downside regardless.
A surplus sounds like good news for consumers hoping for lower oil prices. We also hear a lot about ongoing geopolitical risks. How are those factors balancing each other out?
Well, Steve, on the bullish side, the Russia-Ukraine conflict continues towards completing its fourth year. There have been some attempts at peace settlement recently. However, Ukrainian drone attacks on Russian refineries and export terminals are disrupting Russia's refined fuel exports. More recently, direct attacks on shadow fleet tankers have escalated the conflict. These disruptions create a significant supply risk, but the trend is still downward. While drone attacks on Russian energy infrastructure have created moments of volatility, the market's current concern appears to be less about immediate supply shock and more about long-term trade flow changes and persistent sanctions. Western sanctions have pushed Russia to divert discounted crude to Asian markets, especially China, who continues to build their strategic reserve at close to 1 million barrels per day for most of 2025, which is also a major reason for the lack of observable inventory builds that would be associated with the predicted superglut. On a more long-term view, continuing U.S. sanctions on Russia's Lukoil and Rosneft are changing the trajectory of influence in the Middle East. Lukoil was recently thrown out of one of the largest Iraqi oil fields. Western majors such as Total, BP, Chevron, and ExxonMobil were invited back into Iraq and are signing new deals to swoop in on these assets and turn around the trajectory of Russia-China influence in the region. A huge win for the US and Europe.
Are there any other bullish factors you see out there?
Yes, new development recently would be the escalation of US sanctions and enforcement in Venezuela. Last week, the US began intercepting Venezuelan oil tankers as a strategy to cut off their financing of regimes against the US. We are told there is more to come. Venezuela has the largest provable oil reserves in the world, but years of underinvestment and communist regime have taken their toll, and the country now produces less than 1 million barrels per day. There will be a short-term supply risks as the US ratchets up its sanctions and is determined not to repeat the mistakes of loose sanctions with Russian energy exports financing the war with Ukraine. From a longer-term perspective, regime change in Venezuela would bring more crude to the US refineries and let the US gain another ally within OPEC, both of which are priorities for the Trump administration. US action in the region will continue to complicate the global supply picture in the meantime.
Certainly a lot to keep an eye on. Thanks for your insights. Let's talk weather. Last time you were with us, you mentioned and predicted a wild and woolly winter. So far, you've been right. Any new predictions?
Well, December has certainly got us off to a great start. I think everyone has been super happy about that. Supply at the local terminals will continue to be challenging as we are doing January gallonage numbers in December. Sprague's supply team is performing well under pressure and are doing their best to keep all Sprague terminals well supplied and operational despite the cold weather. This December will finish up as one of the coldest in a decade, so the forecast has been correct so far. The first half of January looks to continue the cold, but the rest of the winter looks like the jury is still out, with weather models all over the place. I'll predict an average rest of the winter and trending colder than predicted. I did recently write a letter to Santa asking for more cold weather until March. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out for us.
If you haven't seen it yet, check out our latest special feature with Nephi's Jim Kalura, available now on our YouTube channel. Well, thanks so much for joining me today, Chris.
Well, thank you.
When did you have that on?
I've been wearing this the whole time. That's all for today, and thanks for joining us. This is our last RP review of the year. We want to wish everyone happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to you and your families. Stay safe out there. We'll be back in the new year with another refined products review. Refine your insight.
Fuel your success.
And Steve.
That sounds terrible. Good morning. I'm Steve Wolf.
Since it's not on camera, I'll just add context. That was Steve's phone falling.
I usually wear it with sunglasses. I wear this the whole time going to get a tree for my daughter. Oh my God. She's so embarrassed. It's so awesome. I've been wearing this the whole time.
And if you haven't, I don't know where I was supposed to go from there.